Excuse me while I recharge. It's just one of these things that I go through, especially when I have been reawakened to the truth of what's going on that surrounds me. The second largest drugstore, pharmacy, whatever you want to call it, is Walgreens. It's hard to believe that it was the second largest. I tend to differ with that now, since all the CVSs are falling apart, Rite Aids are falling apart. But did you know that Walgreens been around since 1901 from Chicago? When everything else, being equal, born around the same time as all the other drugstores who merged and re-emerged and fell down and come back alive as something else, Walgreens was always there. You see Walgreens almost on every corner, just like Rite Aid and CVS. But this is about Walgreens. Walgreens has been through a lot of things that I cannot believe that there's still a drugstore or a pharmacy that does the same thing that all the rest of them did. And did you know that most drugstores, no matter what company it was, they all started off as like a fountain, ice cream. They all had ice cream fountain places where you go have ice cream where people can hang around and also be close to the drugstore in some kind of way because they had food items there. Yes, and Walgreens was also a food store. That's how it practically got started, a food store. And Walgreens is a person name, passed down from father to son to son. It doesn't take much to find out what all they did if you look on the internet. Most of us don't. So I'm going to have to kind of not talk about everything that Walgreens done, but it's hard to believe that it's still a drugstore and it's still around, and it is almost on everyone's corner. I just passed by 2 or 3 of them today. During the Prohibition period, you wasn't allowed to sell alcohol. Okay, this is the first thing. But Walmart, as it says here, it was did I say Walmart? Walgreens. Walgreens was successful. It became successful during the Prohibition period because the government allowed them to sell alcohol as a prescription. That's what I said. They were allowed. So why were they allowed to sell alcohol? So see, somebody somewhere approves of somebody else, but everybody can't do it. Maybe the other drugstores were, but I'm finding that there's more things going on with this drugstore that is hard to believe. Now, when you fast forward to the time when I was around, some 50 years later, my great-grandmother used to use alcohol. I'm talking about whiskey, I don't know which type, to help cure my common cold. Or should I say help cure my common flu? Or should I say help me in whatever congestion that I had at the time. And it seemed to work while I'm watching, I think, black and white TV down in Nashville, Tennessee. That's my great-grandmother. So I can see why certain things that they did back in 1901 and 50 years later, my great-grandmother was feeding it to me, and here I am. It's kind of hard to believe, but that's what happened. They was also integral in the making of malted milkshake, would you believe? I used to drink a lot of milkshakes a lot of time. I still do drink milkshakes, but in the form of coffee. But theirs seemed to be the best milkshake. They were selling it for like 20 cents back in those days. And just like I said before, there was a good place for them to hang out. That's what it said. So it is a wonder that Walgreens is still around after going through all those things. But just like I said, I'm not going to be hating. There's a lot of things that Walgreens has been involved in that had to pay for that they don't think is their fault. So I'm woke. I'm woke for Walgreens. That's right, I'm woke. Because I'm finding out all these things now, years later. I'm finding out these things because the information is available to us all. And we want to know how these pharmacies, how these drugstores managed to survive all those years and going through many problems. And a couple of them I'm going to mention right now. I'm going to kind of read it verbatim and see how this goes. Walgreens was hit with drug fraud in 2008. They were accused of switching dosage forms on 3 medications. That's what it says here, without doctor approval, in order to boost profits. See what I said? In order to boost profits. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. Should I be hating on that? I don't know. But they got in trouble for that. They also got hit because they had to pay $35 million to the U.S. and 42 states and Puerto Rico for fooling around with a generic form of Prozac. The government also hit them for opioids. Now, I don't know anything about these drugs because I don't take them, but I'm sure I've taken a couple of drugs that were close to it. Habit forming. Also, Walmart and CVS also hit 2013 for dispensing drugs and messing with the record keeping of drugs, finagling around with drugs, passing them around. That's right, all of them got hit. Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, and probably anybody else who got opioid drugs changed around doing different kinds of things. Oxycodone, that was probably one of the main ones. There's a whole bunch of other things that I don't really want to even bring up because it doesn't make any sense. You can look it up for yourself. But knowing that most of us are affected by all these types of things that these drugstores have been doing, throwing your records out in the trash can. Even markets have been doing that, and people going around looking at your names, where you lived, and all that type of stuff. They're throwing them in the trash, but not destroying the records properly. Yeah, I'm woke. I'm using it in a different kind of way. I'm woke. I'm woke on Walmart. I'm woke on all the drugstores. I never did like to take drugs, but sometimes you have to take drugs. But it's a wonder how some of these drug stores, drug pharmacies, still hang around. It just doesn't make any sense. But they still hang around because they make so much money that they can pay off and start over in some small way. Whether it's discrimination, they've been through that too. All kinds of reasons. It just doesn't make sense. So, yes, I am being charged. I'm being recharged. It's waking me up to everything that's going on. I was already woke, but I'm more woke. I'm more woke than ever. And you out there should be more woke than ever also. Let me just read the list anyway. Lawsuits and criticisms against Walgreens, allegation of discrimination, drug fraud, Medicaid, use of proprietary drugs, distribution of opioids, pricing and advertising, illegal disposal, selling expired products, and overcharging. Medication denied because of religious beliefs. Investor relations, overbilling governments. How about this? Wage theft violations, unlicensed pharmacists, dispensing incorrect vaccines to preschoolers, abortion pill controversy. I've been reading about abortion pills when it first came out way back when. So I'm way ahead of the abortion, even though it had nothing to do with me. But it does have, directly it has something to do with many of the women. And so you read about things like that, even when you don't even know what they're talking about. Back in the early days when I was younger, I knew it was coming out. And I know what it's doing now without knowing all the scientific stuff that they put in those drugs for birth control. Abortion pill controversy. Brands and contributions to popular culture. Yeah, it's popular culture, all right. Popular culture, taking all kinds of drugs that you shouldn't be taking. And speaking of milkshakes, coffee bean and tea leaf, the side piece. This is probably really, really good. This is really, when you taste it, it reminds me of another fast food place that has a crown on their head. Only this is more strong in taste. But the one that had the crown on their head was very good because I don't know if they still make it anymore. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to see if they still sell it. It's a Frappuccino. But this is coffee bean and tea leaf. I call it the side piece because it's good. Sometimes the side piece is supposed to be better than the real piece, but I don't think that's necessarily so. So that's all I'm going to say about Walmart. This is a little bit long. It's more of a therapeutic talk than anything else. I've been reading it and reading it, but it's just so much information. You can probably apply this Walmart to any other drug company, just like I said before. This is Robin and Shump. I'll see you in my next video. Talk to you later, folks.